5 players under pressure. Number 18 Miami Hurricanes vs Bethune-Cookman. In this weekly series, we'll list 5 players who have something to prove in Miami's upcoming game. Along with the by the numbers piece that will drop on Thursdays, consider this our de facto game preview. We're mostly looking at potential matchup advantages for either side. Think unproven offensive tackles who are about to tangle with star defensive ends. Cornerbacks sure to be in the crosshairs of opposing offensive coordinators. That's the idea. We'll try to be as specific as possible, but we might shine the spotlight on entire position groups, coaches, maybe even you. Okay, probably not you. In the case of this game, at home against an FCS opponent, pressure is a relative term. Though upsets do happen, Bethune-Cookman doesn't seem to have an advantage anywhere on Saturday's field. The real pressure for comes in Week 3. This opener, and to a larger extent, next week at Arkansas State, are about making the engine run as smoothly as possible before Florida State. Which starts us here, with the man who has the keys, Miami QB Malik Rozier. This isn't Rozier's first start, but it might as well be. Brad Kalia is gone, and he's the man, and the Hurricanes have enough talent to challenge for the ACC title if quarterback play is solid. Saturday, he's likely to exit the game sometime in the third quarter with Miami comfortably ahead. Rozier is a threat to run. He had a 19-yard touchdown run and a 46-yard rush last season. As a high school senior at Mobile, Alabama, Faith Academy, he was about as productive on the ground, 1,301 yards, 17 TDs, as he was through the air, 1,852 yards, 16 TDs. Mark Richt will feel even better about his decision to start him if Rozier, a 50.8% passer for his career, drops a few dimes before his departure. Rozier won't face much heat from a Wildcats pass rush, which was a major issue for BCU last year. Miami is certain to play Rozier and back up Evan Sheriffs, and it'll be interesting to see if Nkosi Perry or Cade Weldon sees time. BCU, meanwhile, says in its game notes it can play its 4 quarterbacks, Colin Anderson, Larry Brim, Jabari Dunham and Akevius Williams, at any time. Williams will start. You know what would help Rozier this season? A lot. If Miami found more depth at running back than expected, or at least a strong 1-2 punch. Miami RB Travis Homer coaches know what Mark Walton can do. He has some broad shoulders, but they shouldn't lean too heavily on him. Homer, a sophomore, will get every chance to show he can handle a significant workload. If things go as planned, he'll be able to look at last year's season opener and laugh. 5 of Homer's 7 carries in 2016 and 35 of his 44 rushing yards came against last year's FCS opponent, Florida A&M. Homer fumbled on one of them. He was an excellent special teamer the rest of the season, but he's motivated to make up for slippery hands' debut. Young players have issues with that sometimes. Ask Philip Dorsett or Stacy Coley, but recover. If the Hurricanes are going to have a dependable run game, it's vital someone be a solid number 2 behind Walton. It's also critical they get some push. Miami's second-string offensive line feels confident about its starting 5 linemen, and they should look great against a defensive front 4 that averages 6'3" and 250 pounds. However, Miami needs to see what its backups can do, because it's rare a team gets through the season playing 5 linemen. Injuries were one reason struggled to run the ball and protect its QB against stiffer mid-season competition. The late-season emergence of first-time starters Tyler Gauthier and Tyree St. Louis and moving Casey McDermott from left guard to left tackle were a reason things came together down the stretch. At every position, Miami is looking to see who can turn good practices into good game performances. Second-string O-linemen mentioned as potential rotation players, left guard Hayden Mahoney and center Corey Gaynor in particular, should give coaches something to think about here. Saturday's film, of course, will be graded on a curve. Last year, Meek teams, and North Texas, 92nd in FBS and rushing, rushed for 4.6 yards per carry on Bethune. BCU produced 13 sacks in 2016, all against FCS competition. The Wildcats lost their first 6 games of last year, but even on days things were clicking, they struggled to produce pressure. In a season-ending 39-19 win over Florida A&M, a team Miami beat 73 to open the year, they had 0 sacks. Miami team Michael Irvin, Bethune's key playmaker on defense, is free safety Diquan Richardson, who had 4 picks and 7 pass breakups last year. However, Richardson is listed at 5'11" and 167 pounds. Starting cornerback Elliott Miller, a junior, goes 5'9", 148. The linebackers average 6'0", 226.